for Zach Mandell, everybody. Zach. Yeah.
Thanks for coming out tonight. Give it up for our host. Give it up for Jeff and whatever respiratory virus you just transmitted to the rest of the comments that are following. Guys, my grandmother once saw a clip of me doing stand-up, and she said, Zachary, I didn't like your jokes, but you looked like a comedian. Which is tough. That's a brutal place to be. Thanks, Grandma. Thanks for reassuring me that I've got the physical traits required to be good at this. Maybe I'll keep at it, Grandma. Thanks. That's affirming. Guys, I'm Jewish. Not that you asked, but I'm Jewish. I had a bar mitzvah. Those guys not familiar, bar mitzvah it's an ancient Jewish ritual where families from Long Island show off their wealth. But I grew up in the South, so I didn't really have a lot of Jews around me, you know? So for me, like, it was different. Like, around here, in the tri-state area, these wealthy families would have these lavish bar mitzvahs and all the theme, like the New York Yankees or Broadway or whatever. The theme of my bar mitzvah was just Jew. And that was enough for the... just being at a bar mitzvah was enough for the wasps in the audience to wrap it around. But being a Jew in the South and not having a lot of Jews around me gave me actually a lot of power, right? Because when I was deciding who from my 7th grade class I wanted to invite to my bar mitzvah, I was also deciding who from my 7th grade class would ever go to a bar mitzvah in their life. It was me or no one else, you know? I did grow up in the South. I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia. Maybe you've heard this word, UVA is. If you watch college basketball, it's actually where Dave Matthews Band founded. You might have heard of it if you're a fan of Dave. You also might have heard of it if you're a fan of white nationalist rallies. There was a pretty big one back in 17. It was the premier white nationalist rally destination until Washington, D.C. stole our thunder on January 6th. That was to knock this off the top shelf. But I'm from the South, and I'm really defensive of the South. And when I moved to New York, and then I told people I'm from Virginia, they go, that's not really the South. And it's true, it's not the deep South. But like once you get out of the D.C. bubble, you are culturally like in the South, right? And I would tell people that, and they may not believe me. And then the Unite the Right rally happened, and I no longer had to explain to people. I called my friend up. You still think Virginia's not the South? Turn on CNN. I can got some dudes in tiki torches saying otherwise. But people in New York and the Northeast in general there's lots of reasons to be critical of the South for its history and legacy. But I think people are overly dismissive of the South. You know, people think that everyone there is backwards and closed-minded, and every town is like that. And I don't know, I think that's kind of reductive, kind of simplistic. Like, for instance, Charlottesville, my hometown, has a lot of really good breweries. All right, that one bombed. Shit, all right. Whatever. That's all right, you know? Guys, speaking of breweries, who here is doing Dry January? Dry January. We got a couple Dry Jans. I like that. I'm sort of doing Dry January, which is to say that I'm not doing Dry January, right? Like, it's just sort of you're either in or you're not type of thing. Dry January is when you don't. For those of you who are not alcoholics, Dry January is when you don't drink during the month of January. But yeah, saying that you are kind of doing Dry January is kind of being like, it's kind of like saying I'm sort of peeing my pants right now. It's like, are you or aren't you? You know. I was at a sports bar with my buddy the other day watching NFL, just crushing non-alcoholic beers, which is a surreal sensation. It's like it's just when you're just downing Guinness Zero. It's like your taste buds are sending a signal to the rest of your body, like get ready, and then nothing happens. It's just like it's bizarre. Even before Dry January, I was trying to do comedy sober. Not for any moralistic reason, just because I think I'm better at comedy when I'm sober. And if I'm being totally honest with myself, I think I'm better at everything when I'm sober. Except for feeling joy. I'm not very good at talking to people. Even though I do comedy all the time, I'm not very good at talking to strangers. Back in my younger days, like in December when I was drinking at restaurants, I was at a restaurant and a server came over and she asked me, would you like another beer? And instead of saying, yes, please, I went more like, would you like another beer? Yeah, that'd be huge for me. I don't know where those extra syllables came from. It's like, would you like another beer? Yeah, I think that could be mutually beneficial for both parties in this transaction. I think we should move forward with that proposal. I could have just said yes, that would have worked. Guys, who here had braces growing up? Big braces growing up? Orthodontia? I did not have braces growing up because I had perfect teeth. I've always had perfect teeth. I am, however, a deeply flawed man. Alright guys, that's my time. My name's Zach Mandell.